Hey, welcome back everybody. This is Game 3 of Sparkyz versus STX Seoul, and we have a match going on. It is 1-1. Hogel showing off some strategy on New Heartbreak Ridge, just like he would show it off on Old Heartbreak Ridge. But here we are going to have a classic Terran versus Terran, Leta versus the red-haired sniper Hwasin, and Hwasin is going to be here as the yellow Terran at the southwest position. Leta is this red Terran in the southeast position, and they are going to be playing on Neo Moon Glaive, and this map is actually seemingly quite favored by the Terrans, because it looks like there are already 20 Terran versus Terrans played on this match, which far overshadows any other matchup possible. The second most numerous, I suppose, is Terran versus Zerg, which there have only been 12 of, and those have largely favored Terrans, so Terrans loving this map so far. Leta, after struggling early on in the season against Terran, against a lot of people, I suppose, has really turned things on recently. He has won his last 5 matches against Terrans. He is 4-0 now against Zerg players, so he is on a warpath. He is finally coming to his senses and realizing that he is better than most everyone in the league, unless they are a Protoss player, because he still doesn't know how to win against Protoss, which is unfortunate, but that won't come to bite him in this matchup here, because we do have Terran versus Terran. Hwasin, on the other hand, is only 4-3 this season, and he hasn't really been getting the playtime that he typically would for STX Seoul. You know, Calm really carrying a lot of the weight on the team, but let's see, yeah, he is 2-2 against Terran so far this season, but he is on a little bit of a win streak, winning his last 2 Terran versus Terrans against Reilly and Sky High. And Hwasin did get some action when these two teams first met up, and he beat Type B in that matchup. So Leta trying to get a little bit of revenge for Type B here. Leta with a little bit earlier scouting information. I haven't been looking at them. I've been looking at my stat sheet, but he does have a factory going down, so nothing too out of the ordinary right now for either player. 1 barracks and a factory on both sides. Mirror build, pretty standard. No gas right now being mined for Hwasin, so he's about to expand most likely, and we'll see. You know, Leta has already scouted out the wrong position, so he's already well on his way to figuring out this scout. That Marine might not be in quite the right position, but Leta backs off anyways, and he will be able... Oh, he is going to sneak in that SCV. That Marine did leave his post, and that SCV is coming all the way into Hwasin's base, so he's going to come in here. He's going to see that minerals aren't being mined. He's going to know that this command center is going to be built up, and he is putting down a second factory right now, so quite possibly some early aggression to counteract this quicker command center from Hwasin. So Leta might be able to take charge of this match very early, and he has already got his second factory well underway. His machine shop is being built. We're going to see if he decides to go for siege mode and siege in this new expansion on Neo Moon Glaive, or if he is going to be going for vultures and doing some sort of vulture upgrades. I think the vultures are a much more likely option, especially for Leta, but in general. And Hwasin, unfortunately, since he put out such a late scout, is still completely in the dark of what's going on in Leta's base. A second machine shop going down, so quick upgrades are going to be happening for Leta too, so he is almost definitely going for very early aggression, and he's looking for a timing attack right before Hwasin's command center can really get mining, and before he can, you know, his second factory can get up and running at full capacity. Let's see, so Hwasin, like I was saying, is in the dark about what's going on in Leta's base, and he actually went and scouted out the wrong direction as well, so his scout is even further delayed. Not like it's going to be able to get into the base or anything anyways. That vulture seeing to that, being able to take out that SCV. The SCV does get enough information to see that there is not a command center. I believe it was in range to see where that command center would be. So Hwasin knows that Leta is probably going to be coming in with some sort of forces in the near future. 4 vultures that are already speed upgraded, 5 vultures already, and Leta is getting ready to put up his command center as well. So he's going to go in for a simultaneous attack. Well, not a simultaneous attack. He's going in for a harassing attack while putting up his command center, which is the way it ought to be done. 4 vultures along with a marine and an SCV for Hwasin, but they do not have the speed upgrade. So if those vultures ever break ranks, Leta is going to send his vultures all the way in to Hwasin's base. It looks like he is going to back off right now. Lifting off his command center once again and bringing it back so that it doesn't burn down. Hopefully Leta did that in time, but if not, Leta still has control over this map in terms that he has a stronger army, he has more forces, and he has placed mines all around the outside of the natural expansion for Hwasin. So Hwasin, being a little bit trapped in, he can obviously move those vultures out. Vultures don't trigger other spider mines. But he's gonna, if he ever wants to move out any tanks, then he's gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Ooh, and Hwasin moving out his vultures, and Leta using that opportunity to try to sneak in the back door on Moon Glaive. That's one of the interesting features of this map, is that there's those 2 entrances to each of the natural expansions. There's sort of the main entrance, which has a pretty wide choke, and then a narrow choke that is unbuildable around the backside that takes a little bit longer to get to. But Leta once again coming in, and now he is trapped all of those SCVs on the ramp, and those SCVs are all going down. However, Hwasin has snuck in vultures as well, but Leta has a siege tank now, so he's probably going to be able to stop these vultures in his base a little bit quicker. Leta having to run a few of his SCVs, but those siege tanks with siege mode are being able to clear out those vultures pretty quickly. So maybe not the best defense that Leta could have done, but at the same time he does a very massive harassment, completely clearing out the natural expansion, and now he still has 2 vultures hanging out in the mineral line of the main base, which are trying to get a couple more kills before they die. 1 more SCV kill going down, and actually Hwasin moving his vultures so that SCV could get another shot off. So, or excuse me, that 1 vulture from Leta could get another shot off. So Leta coming out in a huge lead after that harassment. It looks like vulture upgrades are finally set up for Hwasin, so he is finally dealing with a similar army to what Leta has been using, but he is now way behind in terms of economy. Leta has his base up and running at the natural expansion. He has been just about completely unharassed. He did lose a few SCVs to that counter harassment from Hwasin, but he is also sending in siege tanks around the back door and going to be trying to siege over the ridge here. Vultures coming in at the front door as well, but there are wraiths in play now for Hwasin. He has been building a starport up in his main base, and the first wraith is out, but is it going to be enough to stop these 2 siege tanks? Probably not. The siege tanks already being able to shell the command center. Vultures in there as well, being able to do a little bit of extra damage. The SCVs are huddled in the corner trying to protect themselves from splash damage, and I don't think that single wraith is going to be able to hurt the tanks fast enough to stop this harassment. Leta now putting down an armory now that he sees the wraith in play, so some Goliaths will be able to come out and deal with this wraith pretty quickly. Also, very nice repair work by the single SCV, keeping that tank alive forever and ever while that wraith picks away at it. Finally, it goes down, but the damage has certainly been done, and Hwasin is basically out of this game already. Leta has put down a 3rd base, it looks like. Except I don't know where they just showed that. Maybe that was just his natural expansion and I'm getting ahead of myself. But Leta has completely denied Hwasin's natural expansion now. It is floating there above where it wants to be, and all of the workers have ran away and are, well, they'd like to be taking lunch, but instead they are busy at work at the main base, because if they don't, they're gonna die. Anyways, finally some scans coming out for Hwasin, so he's able to clear out some of these mines that Leta has laid, and a huge group of vultures coming out for him as well. But And just now being able to land that command center, it's still badly damaged, so as soon as Leta is able to build up another army and he has a few Goliaths to defend it from the Wraiths, then he is probably going to be able to punch